All right, hi everybody, welcome back. In this video, I want to quickly go over branding, so building on our discussions related to branding, but specifically in this video, I want to dig into some strategies that are particular to branding. Now, again, branding is a huge area of research and practice unto itself, and there are lots of different strategies for building together and thinking about branding and brand positioning. But there are a couple of tools here that I think are really, really useful for sales. Just to get us started off, the way that I think we typically introduce branding and particularly brand positioning in marketing programs, like in an intro class or even really in a strategy class when we start thinking about overall kind of marketing strategy competition amongst firms at that level, is something that looks like this, right? So two continuum, not always price and quality, but often price and quality, and thinking about situating different brands, different offerings within this kind of quadrant system. But this is not necessarily what branding looks like in practice. Often you're going through some kind of process for thinking through how do we talk about what it is that our product uniquely provides and then connect that to consumers' needs in a really compelling way that's going to allow us to position the brand and position the benefits that we have to offer in a way that makes competitive sense for us as a company, as an entity. And so what we do in that case is we take a product attribute and we think, what are the defining characteristics? What are the things that kind of characteristics or features that we want to highlight that are specific to our product or our brand that we think we do particularly well. We're going to take those and we're going to translate those product attributes into benefits. So thinking through, okay, what do those features translate into that's beneficial to our consumers? And remember how I said you're going to be really tired of hearing me say, and we're going to push on that just a little bit more. We're going to push on that just a little bit more, and we're going to wind up with consumer benefits. So pushing on those product benefits, really what we're looking for here is like a slight twisting, just pushing on it a little bit more and say it from the consumer's perspective now. So what values does the consumer get as a result of those benefits? And then finally, at least in this version of the model here, push on those a little bit more. And how do those consumer benefits translate into maybe more abstract emotional benefits? So what do we think that our consumer ultimately is going to feel, is going to experience as a result of engaging with our brand? So you can see here how we're starting with something at a relatively low level, a product attribute, pushing on it until we get to emotional benefits at a higher level, more abstract attitude. And that should sound very familiar to you if you watched the FABS video, right? Features, advantages, benefits. That's how we tend to talk about it in sales. Very, very similar to what's happening in various strategies for putting together branding strategies or branding positioning statements. Another way of thinking about this that's relatively common in brand literature is the consumer connection bridge. And this is essentially saying, okay, what we want to do is we want to build a bridge in between the consumer and the brand. And how are we going to do that? We're going to take features of our product, of our brand, and we're going to channel those features across to our consumers' goals, right? So not necessarily building just to an emotional benefit. Now we're going to try and draw direct link in the consumer's mind between the product and the features of the product or the features of the brand directly to the consumer's goal, so that the consumer starts to see us, the brand, or starts to see the product in the case of a sales situation in which we're considering these things, starts to see what we have to offer as directly aiding in their goal pursuit. Important caveat here quickly before I end this discussion. You can push this too far, right? So I say again and again, push on that a little bit, push on that a little bit, and there you do reach a point of absurdity, right? So here we have the cartoon about, thinking through these corn chips, and if we push on it and we push on it and we push on it, we go through this laddering process all the way up to world peace, right? At a certain point it becomes too abstract. Although I will say that this is rarely the mistake that I see people use, particularly early on in in sales training or in working in sales is pushing on it too far to the point where it reaches a level of abstractness. Often I think people are hesitant to push on it enough, and because it's this exercise in perspective taking and really putting ourselves in our consumers' shoes, in our target's shoes, and thinking through, what is going to be the most compelling possible case for that person, and how can I convey that in a convincing way. So that's it. We're not going to go much deeper into branding other than branding positioning statements after this, but it's an incredibly fascinating area of marketing practice and research, and tons more that you could dig into here if you're finding this stuff compelling. So thanks, everybody.